Hi, I'm Jake, and I've been drawing Pokemon since I was 7 years old. Hopefully today's video is one that you've all been excited for. It's going to be showing the evolutions to the Greek-inspired Fakemon starters. So if you're excited to see how these guys evolve into these, then stick around to the end of the video. Before we get into the evolutions, I thought it'd be really good to recap the existing starters, especially since we've just hit 100 subscribers, so there might be some of you who haven't met these guys yet. First up, we've got Budcub, the grass starter for the region. It's inspired by lions and eventually manticores from Greek mythology, mixed in with a theme of ancient Greek theatre. Sounds a bit odd, but it'll make sense eventually. The region's fire starter is Kalakaftos. It's based on a squid and inspired by Greek athletics and the Olympic Games. And finally, the water starter is Aristotle, based on a sheep or a Capricorn, or even the Aries constellation, mixed in with themes of Greek philosophy. So let's get started with Budcub's evolution. I started with a silhouette method to get my basic idea out of my head, but that pose was a bit static and didn't give off the energy that I wanted to convey. The idea behind this line is that the lion is the happy or comedic side of theatre, and the thorny tail is the tragedy side. All starter evolution lines in the main series seem to show this theme of progression or growth. So for this evolution line, I wanted to show how it grows as an actor to link to its theatre theme. Budcub is a happy-go-lucky kid that likes to make people laugh, but its thorny tail often gets it into trouble. Its evolution takes itself a little bit more seriously and likes to make people laugh intentionally, but its thorny tail is trying to steal the spotlight. So that's why I posed it in this way, with the thorny tail poking out from behind as if to be a mischievous hindrance to the Pokemon. I gave the tail its own mouth to express how it has its own personality and almost its own brain and can move and think for itself. At level 16, Budcub evolves into Thespor, the entertainer Pokemon. It loves to entertain people and makes them laugh, but its spiky tail has a mind of its own and constantly tries to upstage it. I really tried to get across the inspirations in its moveset. I gave it Petal Blizzard to represent the happy lion side and Needle Arm to represent the thorny tail. I gave it Fake Tears and Round in an attempt to link it to the theatre theme. Here's the shiny for Thespor. Again, as usual, no particular reason for the shiny colours, I just thought they looked cool. Moving on to Thespor's evolution now. You can see there on the left hand side my original silhouette for getting the idea out of my head. As I'd mentioned before, this line is based on manticores or chimeras from Greek mythology, which is why I wanted to include wings in its design. The reason why I chose a manticore is because I wanted to pick an animal that had multiple heads for the basis of this design, to link to the comedy and tragedy themes. To complete the idea of progression and journey for this evolution line, I wanted it to work in tandem with its tail, so both the comedic lion head and the tragedy tail would work together to entertain people. I struggled quite a bit with the posing to imply this, but ended up on this design which I'm really happy with. Watching this back now, I think the only feedback I'd have to myself is that I've kind of lost the happy smiley face of the lion head, so maybe I can fix that in a later redesign. The final stage of Budcub is Mantheaclaw, the double act Pokemon. It has learnt how to work in tandem with its wild tail in both battles and performances. Its roars can induce laughter and sorrow. I was really keen to make Mantheaclaw a mixed attacker because that's the whole theme of this Fakemon, is that it's got a dual personality. And again, to show that both the tail and the head can attack, I gave it Petal Dance and Power Whip. When Thespor evolves, it gains the Dark type as well, because it's finally learnt to embrace its tail. On a side note, I'm really proud of myself for the species name, with it being double act. I think that's great. Finally, for the shiny, who doesn't love a grass type gaining the autumnal colours? So here we have it, the full evolution line of the grass starter for the region. Personally, I'm really proud of how they came out. I think the idea of theatre was probably one of the hardest concepts to mix into a Fakemon design. Let me know if you think I pulled it off. For the middle stage of the fire starter, I really struggled with the pose. I wanted to increase its energy from the base stage, but was struggling on how to do that. I felt that a lot of these silhouettes that I was drawing were quite sticky, stick thin, whereas this is meant to be like an athlete, so I tried to bulk it out a little bit. Then I really thought hard about what the theme of this Pokemon is, and it's athletics, and eventually it's going to be throwing, so I drew it in a throwing pose, or at least tried to. So thinking about progression and growth of this Fakemon line, Kalakaftos is clumsy, and I wanted it to focus and train and really hone its skills. So this middle evolution is going through its training arc to become an Olympic athlete. Introducing Kalacyclos, the athletic Pokemon. Kalacyclos trained tirelessly, spinning its forearms to perfect its fireball throwing capabilities. I gave this evolution line its own signature move called Fireball, which I imagine would be like a bullet seed but a fire version, where it repeatedly throws fireballs at the opponent. This guy is obviously a physical attacker, because it gains the fighting type, and all of its moves are themed around throwing. For Kalacyclos' shiny, I stuck with the colour scheme from its pre-evolution. The idea was to pull out the other colours from the Olympic rings that weren't used in its original colour palette. I really struggled with the posing for the final evolution of this guy. Originally, I wanted it to be a slimline design, but then I gave it the embody treatment and leaned into that stocky physique. The pose is actually inspired by a Greek statue called Discobolus, I'm pretty sure it is. Sounds like disco ball, but I'll put a picture on screen so then you know what I'm talking about. The original idea for this Fakemon, when I came up with the region a couple of years ago, was to include smoke rings to be like discuses that it throws, so that's where the inspiration came from. I went back and forth about how many arms to give it. Well, I mean legs, or are the arms? I don't know if a squid has arms or legs. But it's quite hard to pose a squid standing upright, and I didn't want to give it the Malamar treatment and turn it upside down. So I decided to make it bipedal with 6 arms to try and distinguish it a bit from Machamp as well. For its body patterns, I wanted to give it an athletics outfit, but when I googled it, they actually competed naked. So instead I took inspiration from those stereotypical depictions of Hercules. The final evolution of the fire starter is Kalakatinos, the flame champion Pokemon. Athletes who light their torches on Kalakatinos' flames are said to be victorious. It battles by hurling flaming discs with pinpoint accuracy. Really happy with how this design came out. I'm so proud of it. And sorry in advance for all those firefighting starter haters, but how could I have an athletics inspired Fakemon without it being fighting type? The shiny keeps the same colour palette as its pre-evolutions, just with that dark red colour as a bit of a nod to actual squids. So here's the full evolution line for the fire starter. Like I said, I'm really happy with how they turned out. And again, sorry that it's another fire and fighting type starter. I did debate about making it a rock type and having it throw rock discuses instead, but I really like the way the fire disc turned out. For Aristotle's evolution, I started with this sketch that I made years ago, but I did think it could use a little bit of work to tie in that philosopher theme a little bit better. As you can see online, there's that stereotypical beard that all the philosophers have, so I wanted to give that to this Fakemon. This line is also inspired by Capricorns, which is why I extended the tail and its horns. This is Socracorn, the sage Pokemon. They spend hours deep in study of the world around them. Bubbles drift from its beard when it gets lost in thought. Because of this, I gave Socracorn the psychic type. For its shiny, I stuck with the same colours as Aristotle's shiny, to keep with that black sheep idea. I actually already had a sketch of just the head of the final evolution, but I needed to think of a body for it. When I was googling Capricorns, I actually found out that they have a dual symbolism, so the goat side represents the material world and the fish side represents the emotional world. This gave me an idea for the progression of the line, going from a studious personality to a quite fun and free personality, someone who has learned all about the world and now is deciding to learn about themselves. So to do that, I tried to give it a much more laid back pose. I thought about making it meditating, but this is just kind of in between lying down and meditating, just the perfect balance. Final evolution of Aristotle is Thalamaram, the enlightened Pokemon. Having pondered every question in the world, Thalamaram now seeks answers within itself. As it meditates, it floats slightly. I decided Thalamaram should have its own signature move called Thought Bubble. I imagine it would be a water type special move that when the bubble bursts it can confuse the opponent. I stuck with the black sheep theme for the shiny but threw in a bit of yellow because I imagine it could learn some electric type moves by TM. And with that we have the full evolution line of the water type starter. Personally, I'm really happy with the theme and the idea of its growth throughout its evolution. But I do think maybe in the future I'll redo it, as I feel like I'm much happier with the other final evolutions of the trio. So there we have it, all of the final evolutions of the starter Pokemon for my Greek-inspired Fakemon region. I'm really pleased with how they turned out. Usually I find starter Pokemon really hard to make, but I hope you can see I've put a lot of effort into their designs and their lore behind them and their inspirations. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like, comment and subscribe, and I'd love to hear which starter Pokemon you're going to pick. On a side note, I just want to say thank you so much for all your views, subscriptions and lovely comments. It means so much that people are enjoying the designs that I'm sharing. As I've already mentioned, I'm in the middle of moving house, so there might not be a video next week. I'm hoping there will be, and I'm going to try to make one. We're going to go back to the random sprite generator challenge, and I'm hopefully going to be making some Fakemon starters. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, bye!